So Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and Defense Secretary Jim Mattis are, I want to say are currently, but they may have just finished, I'm not sure, briefing the Senate about Saudi Arabia as it relates to the extent of the responsibility of the royal family there in the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. They also are briefing the Senate on the humanitarian crisis in Yemen. And this is all before there is a vote on whether or not to dramatically scale back military support for the kingdom, Saudi Arabia. Maybe we should start calling the U.S. a kingdom, the kingdom of America. I mean, Trump is sort of kingly. He'd like to be king. Emperor Trump. He is the emperor who has no clothes. So therefore, maybe he should just be Emperor Trump. What do you call, an empire? Duh. I was about to say, what do you call an emperor dumb? Yeah, no. A dumb emperor. But that's a whole other story. Yeah, empire. Sorry. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Dear God, what's going on this show? I'm blaming it on Nick. Okay. In any case, they're briefing the Senate, and it's a classified closed-door meeting, but both Mattis and Pompeo released statements ahead of time with essentially what they were going to be saying. Of course, they're giving more details and more classified information inside the closed meeting. Mattis specifically mentioned Khashoggi in the opening statement of his what he put out to journalists, and saying that, while the murder underscored the need to continue a partnership with Saudi Arabia, because of all the other stuff going on there, because of the relationship and the military buys and the stability in the area and all of that. It's like we're now focused on it. I think that's what he was sort of getting at. He also added that this is a quote from him, "We are seldom free to work with unblemished partners." And this is what brings me back to my theme for the day, which is, where do we draw the line between, having to intersect, having to work with people who we don't agree with their tactics or their philosophies, and where do we say, okay, that you've crossed the line, it's too much. So his quote was, "We are seldom free to work with unblemished partners." He goes on to say, "Long-standing relationships guide but do not blind us. Saudi Arabia, due to geography and the Iranian threat, is fundamental to maintaining regional and Israeli security and to our interest in Mideast stability." That's what he said. So this gets to all of that. First of all, they always toss Israel in. Now, in fairness, Israel is in the region, but they always toss Israel in because they feel like, Americans will say, like, oh, we got to protect Israel at all costs. Okay. Does that mean we have to stay with Saudi Arabia? All right, fine. Kill who you want. It's okay. I think we underestimate what should be our own power, and that if we were to push back, I feel like Saudi Arabia does need us. And if we were to push back, we might actually make headway. We might actually get them to, look, we're not going to change their entire philosophy, certainly not overnight, but maybe they would push MBS out and put somebody else in place. That would be a pretty dramatic movement on the part of Saudi Arabia. Maybe at the very least, they'll think twice before doing it again, before killing the next journalist. I think we were talking about this yesterday. And I think we played a clip yesterday from, I think it was Adam Schiff yesterday, was it, that was talking about some of Trump's activities thinking it made him strong, but actually made him weak. And I think this is one of those things where, we are looking weak. We are looking like we can be pushed around by Russia, by Saudi Arabia, and we just keep doing it. So, and then we push others around that we can get away with. We push smaller countries around. We push, less financially stable countries around. I don't know. It's frustrating, but it doesn't look like, at the end of the day, here's where we are. It doesn't look like we're going to be doing anything other than what we've already done in terms of sanctioning Saudi Arabia. It looks to me like the individual sanctions that were levied on some individuals that were lower down in the organization, and who, let's face it, are the scapegoats, is all we're really going to do. And that we are not going to hold the royal family accountable there. So once again, America showing its lack of moral authority and its innate desire for financial success and at all costs, despite despite anything, despite what it means in the long run, despite what it means in terms of the way the rest of the world views us, in terms of what we are supporting, the humanitarian aspect of it all, the moral aspect of it all. We just don't care.